Welcome back to another week on the couch. And this week, Dan and I are going to be talking about refinancing. What is it and when should you do it?
Absolutely. So refinancing is basically where you go in there and you go, you know what, I've already got my house or I've already got my apartment or I've got my townhouse, whatever your property is, and you've got a loan for it. And you turn around and say, well, maybe another bank has a better product for me.
Yep.
Maybe it's a lower rate. Maybe there's a variety of reasons why you choose your bank, right? So refinancing is going through the process of moving the mortgage across to another bank there. So how often would you do it, mate?
Mate, I usually say, hey, look, I look at with my portfolio every 2 years, right? So I go through and do a full review every 2 years. So I seem to notice a significant shift, I would say, in lending patterns usually every 24 months.
Yeah.
Okay. That's for me. But obviously everyone's going to be a bit dependent on their own personal circumstances. And you might be refinancing for all different sort of reasons. One, I'm always a bit sort of skeptical at chasing a rate. And if you're jumping, I'm at this bank, and then 2 months later I'm at that bank, and then 2 months later you're just going to get demolished by fees anyway.
Yeah, unless they've got their cashbacks. When the cashbacks were going on and there was $7,000 a refi and you could do it every 3 months, mate, there was people over there that was like licensed to print money. But the banks have shut that down. That's pretty much non-existent these days. So you're not going to be refinancing to get cashbacks a lot of the time now.
Absolutely. And it can be realistically, let's talk about, getting a DVA payment, something like that, and coming down to your cash flow. So you might turn around and say, hey, look, we've been in this mortgage for 5 years. We're going to refi for another 30 years, right? But I've had a significant influx of cash, and I really want to lower out my repayments. Or I want to put it in the offset account and I want to pay it off. There's lots of different sort of things.
So it's a lot of structuring stuff you can do. Probably one of the other ones as well is when you're expanding your portfolio, you might go to your current bank and say, hey, I want to get the equity out of this property. And then they give you a valuation that gives you like $10,000 worth of equity. But you might go across to another bank or another 2 banks or 3 banks, and they get valuations done through your broker. And you might go, well, this bank is willing to give me $70,000, $80,000 because their valuations are far more favorable. In those circumstances, you're almost certainly going to move banks in order to continue to grow your portfolio as well.
Yep, absolutely. No allegiance to the bank. Just remember that. I don't care if you had a Dolomites account when you were a kid. You go where the best deal is. All right, that's it for this week. See you next week on the couch.